In this video, we're going to look on special nodes inside the Plant Factory, and this is Advanced node. Example, if you right click, you can see we already looked before on some geometry nodes, but below this we have a selector, loops, spline, and miscellaneous. We do a little bit look on the loops, but we'll look a little bit more closer in this video. And by the way, down below those nodes, they're kind of same nodes what you find them inside the view, and if you're familiar how to work inside the view, you find them very similar to this. We'll come back to those nodes later in our videos, but for now let's focus on the selectors, loops, spline, and miscellaneous. And as beginning, first let's create a very simple plan. For this we have at the root, we'll add advanced node, advanced segment, and this will be our trunk. And let's click another ones, add advanced branches. And usually if we add advanced branches, you can see they kind of automatically appear. I'm going to change color a little bit on this node, like there, so we can kind of easy to see them on our preview. Well, now if I need go and create another type of branches, I can go again, just create new advanced node. Let's switch this node to different color, and we can go create as another child. And you can see it does kind of applied segment, but general they still be there. They just one on top of another. And we can actually look on this if we're going inside the advanced segment here, and we'll just use the roll, and you can see, look on this. You can see they are there. They're just hiding the stacking one of another. Well, you actually can control the children a little bit better by using those selectors. Let's go, I'll show you. Right here we have its selectors, and let's select first the random child. We need to take from our advanced segment, connect to random child, and now right here we need connect children. So let's connect one children, and we'll take second and connect here. Notice what's happening at this time. Well, our angle is changed because we changed before, but you notice how they change already. They're randomly generating, they're randomly putting. So we now have it one child on one type and another. We can add more and more. And more interesting, if we're going to random node, you'll notice we have it our presence. So we can actually says, hey, I don't want child one right here. For example, it's red. I want a little bit less, and I want more of other ones. Let me give you an example. When you have the tree, and on the tree you have it, some branches is good and lush, and they have it all this, but maybe 1-2 branch is dead branch on a tree. So in this case, you can create those different type of the branches and put them right there, so they will be different. Then again, they're not necessarily can be branches. They can be on a stem, flowers, seeds, fruit, or some other things. So this way you can combine and create on the same position. And what I mean same position, because if we look in advance, they're going under same children. So whatever we modify here will apply to those random children. So in this case, we can randomly select the children and position them how we want it. Well, if you don't want to create randomly, you can always go and select different. For example, we have a sequence. And as that says itself, we can go right here and also select wrong things right there. Let's go right here, select these. And here, and you can see it's going in a sequence. So we have it 1, 2, 3. So the children is we alternate how they're going. Well, if we're going to next selector, okay, and we also, for example, have it spread children. Can go right there. Let's connect. You can see it's putting them spread properly. In this case, they spread them during the height. You don't see very much, but it is spreading them during our parent, which is kind of very nice in this case, because right there you can see, we're going all the way, and let's just decreasing, and you can see when we're decreasing, let me bring closer here, right there. That's better. And you can see now we're going up, increasing or decreasing. So it's nice things you can create, like for example, very mature branches, example, everything, and design them and put them on a lower with smaller leaves. And as a plant go up, you maybe change them. They also spread. It may apply to your colors. In a fall, for example, you'll have it green on the bottom, and as going to the top, it's changed color to the yellow, red, or something. So it's your imaginations how you can use this. Okay, we cover some of this. Let's go next, selectors. Level of details. It's actually nice if you're creating plant with very complex details. For example, if I create a plant which is very close to us, and I can create one node with very extensive textures, a lot of polygons, everything, because I want to have it very high details for the specific children as it's closer to us, level of details. And if it's plant far away, we cannot see those details, but I don't want to use it all of those polygons. So then I can assign a level of details. If it's far away, then don't use different ones. So it's kind of nice to control this way of how complexity and everything going on closer or far away. And again, closer you may be using full 3D, and far away you may be using alpha map. So it's up to you how you're doing this. But it's kind of nice because you can and connect different ones based it if they're closer or if they're far away on details where they're locating. Well, and right here, for example, you can see far away 10. And of course, if we move way far, we can remove the output on a level of details. Okay, so we'll look on this. Let's go. Boop, remove those ones because we don't need them anymore. Next, on the selectors, we also have it select to children and additional geometry target. In geometry target, we can kind of select in the areas where it's located. Mostly this node is a kind of useful because you have it areas you can pre-select, but I did not see real actual use. If you have something, let me know. If you use it, this specific node in some very unique project or very unique builds, let me know. Let me know how did you use this node. It will be very interesting to find from you. Okay, so let's go look on next. We have it the loops. And loop, speaking for the cells, what it does, it's a looping and repeating something over and over. Well, let's look on this example. We have it one trunk and two branches. If I collect like this, I can create another ones. What if I want to create another branch here, like this? So I create another branch and I can create more and more. But it is still kind of mixed about this, because how many branches do I need to repeat them over and over this way? Well, if we do loop, we actually can save a lot of those variations and make better control. So example here, we have 1, 2, 3, and it's kind of predefined. What if I want to randomize how many and some different areas will be? Well, let's see what we can do with loops. First, of course, we need create the repeater. And the repeater accept input, and it's also accept output. So like right here, we're going and create output. And as we're connecting, you can see it does not change. Let's go and repeat and put it maybe 2. Notice it does not change either. Well, it's because right now it's open loop. And it's meaning it does not know when to need stop. What we can do is tell go to next. So let's go ahead. We'll go loop. And we're going to click next. Let's connect now from here to there. And as we're connecting, notice it's going from here and it says repeat next, which is kind of very nice because technically we can add another thing. So we can, for example, put it inside loop more, or we can just select like this. And from there you can see expand it more, but part of the going inside the loop. This way we can easily control how many we want. And look on this, on the repeat, you also have it our randomization. So if I put random on, there we have it more unique. Now it can be anywhere from 1 till 3. And we can verify this. If we click random, you can see some branches change on this. This way we can create a different, more complex and more natural combinations. And of course you can combine with the selectors we saw before. So you can create a random looping branches to add additional randomization, natural random, I will say this way. Okay, we also have another ones in loop, and for example call last. So what last does in this case, it says okay, when is the last happen for this, and we can connect from same, and on this last one put it another one. So for example, you can notice, well, let me reduce this maybe to 2, so it's a little bit shorter. See how they appear not in the middle, but they appear on the last one. So like if we change, in this case this branch is last because we put it random, correct? But if we don't put random, let's go and repeat, and let's go erase 0 here. Okay, and as we're doing, you can see main branch does not have it, it's only have it last. Then this is nice if you put it leaves. For example, you don't want to make leaves growing from main branch. Sometimes you want from the twigs or other things. In this case, what you can do, or for example, you can also specify be on the end. For example, if we're going to our advance here and we have it with our next, or we can go with actually a last child, like right there. So on the last, we can also specify and says, let's go this where we want to place it. Okay, let's go place it 0 here. Okay, and we can put it tip of the segment. So you see how we already put them on top of the segment, yes. And we can say for this one, instead 50%, let's go 100%. And now we have it kind of funny things. We actually can even do more fun. Yes, we can have it like 200%. And now there you go. Look at this. We kind of create funny things. But it's give you idea. So on the last of this, we don't need on the middle, but on the last ones we can create. You can create fruits, you can create a lot of different things. And sometimes don't think about this as a plant. Think about it is interesting. Could be fractal creation in 3-dimensional. So you can create a gear machine. You can create a very unique like hedges, towers, cities, something very unusual. I mean, it's your imaginations what you're going to create. But with this, you can assign how you want to positioning specifically in the combination of the loops. Well, let's go see what else we have. We have it all by the last, and it makes sense. It's put it everywhere except the last. Okay, and of course, if you create this, then, well, we also have it very interesting note here in a loop. It's called iteration end. So let's go enable this. This node, it's actually return value to us, and it's a return rate value of how many cycles it's happened inside the loop. For this, actually, I need to connect to the or interact with element inside repeat next. So it's inside of that loop, we can do it. Well, let me show you what's happening. So right here, we have our advanced node, yes, set. Well, let's expand this a little bit. And there's we have a segment with link. Well, if I connect directly to the link of this on segment, it's not showing because it's a start with a 0. On iteration 0 is 0. It does not, and link 0, obviously nothing will be there. So what we need to do, we need it map it our values. Okay, let's do this way. We go to filter and we'll go select the map. Let's connect map to iterations map. And right here in the map, we says, well, we start with a 0. And our iterations, let's go to 4. So we'll have it 4 iterations. And our output now in a link. And we'll say it's output from 1 till 6. Well, let's make it different. And now we're going to connect these to our link. Look what's happening. See how they change the different sizes. So if we're going to repeat and we set, for example, 2, and let's say maybe, actually let's go 4, and we say 2. Yes. Oh, maybe too much. Yeah, I think repeat a little bit too much. I think 2 and 2 was good. So randomly. And if we do this way, you can see how they're changing. So some have it less, like 0. Some have it much longer, like right there. This is much longer. So it's kind of really nice that we can control on what iterations what's happening. We can, for example, we can say that let's make change size of the leaves, or thinnest, or effect more. For example, in some cases we can take this map, and let me show you other things what we can do. Okay, we have here, and let's say iterations. What do we have here? We have iterations from to 4. I think it's right, from 0 to 4. Actually, I think it's going from 0, and we have it. How many iterations? We can have it up to 4 iterations. So I think that is good. Okay, but here I want to create from 0.1 to, on higher iterations, let's go to 1. And I'll show you what we're going to do. And inside our branch, if we look, we have it very interesting things in influence they call string. What string does, if you look, see, they kind of like become twisty, kind of like very twisty. So it's what we're doing. We're going inside our influence preparations right here, string, and we'll just connect to that and see what's happening. The first one become very straight, yes, and as more they're going out, the more twisty it's happening. So then we can go also going like this, and you can see the straight here, and the more branches or twigs coming out, the more getting twisty. You can apply this value to like crawl, you can apply to different, again, your imaginations. But you can notice this way you can create more interesting things. And again, we only, if you look, almost work only with one. So if we disable this, it's taken. It's taken just a one branch loop. We don't need to worry about this. And we can apply all of this cool stuff just with this one. Okay, let's look next what we have with loop. And repeater and, which one I don't show, but this is using if you have it nested repeaters. So for example, if I have it one repeater here, I actually can take this and put it in another repeater. So what is meaning by this? We can go to loop, repeat, and I can put it one repeater inside the another repeater. But problem with this, what does this apply? Next, last, we don't know what is applied to. Yes, and this is why this is help us, because if we says, hey, this is end of repeater, then it's a one loop, this is another loop. And of course, inside this loop, we can do more other stuff, but general, it will help us and tell, hey, this is end of this loop, and start working with others. So you can nest it a lot of different repeaters. And for example, you can have one repeater with branch. Next, you can put it right here after this repeater. You can put it something more, connect to different branches, different, and so on. So it's a very growing complexity, very cool about this. Well, let's look next what we have. And we already have this fun repeaters. I'm going just to delete because we don't need them right here. Map iterations, let's delete this one. We don't need that one as well. And here, let's go set 0. So we'll have it just predefined. Just go this way. And let's go next on the last. We'll just put it back our fruits or whatever we created. Next, let's go right click and look on the splines. The splines is very similar to what we had before. So if we look on our main segment, in a segment, you'll notice down here we have it selections if we open, and this is change general this selection. So we can add additional elements, and we can take them and squeeze them like this, or if you want it, we can also just go and add some kind of weird shapes, redesigning kind of like this. So you can do all this fun stuff, applying, and it will apply to our general tree. Well, let's increase a little bit resolution of this so we can preview. And you can see right here, see how these branches, they change, they kind of look very weird, yeah. So this is, we can apply those segments. Well, okay. Let's go reset them. And other ones, we have its axis. And axis, it is how they're moving. So if I go select one right here, we can change like this, apply, and you can see the axis of them changes as well. Well, it's kind of nice, but problem with this, you don't see real randomizations applied to this. But with the special nodes, we can actually change that. So let's go right click and go spline, and we'll go, you can do by functions or manual. So if we do manual right here, we can see we can go and modify this. There you go. There's our spline. Okay. And we can say we can expand. We'll go on a segment, and we can go to our trapezium where we have this right here. We have it in axis control. So it's expand axis control. And you notice the nodes kind of look same. Yeah, same color. So we connect there, and there you go. We have it all is different. Of course, we have it primal. And this is given as positioning, current positioning on our axis. So it's meaning this is a return our value, what's going here. And this is what we can modify. Well, I'm a little bit jumping ahead because if you notice right there, we have our information, kind of all those primal, those special miscellaneous nodes. But it's what it is. It's a return actually position from beginning and all the way here. So it's given us all this position, which we apply to our spline, and it's applied to here. We can honestly change this because it's just a number, yes, and we can modify this if we need it dynamically. So this is what power of this. Of course, if you look on spline and with a function, there you have it all of these different functions. You can apply the twist, scale, and notice this. We also have a rotational apply here. We have a transition scale. I mean, a lot of stuff. And most important, there's a random. So you can create those very randomly effect can apply to this, which is kind of very cool because let's say right here we have it rotations maybe like this. Okay, let's apply to here. See like rotation there. And of course I can put it 0.2 to this, or here 0.3, just total different. And I can create very fun. And I'm just putting right now out of my head. And of course we can go and modify one which be applied according to the parent. So this one, it's going there. And well, sorry, no, this is going towards its kind of 0 to 1 itself. And another one's according to the height of the parent. So for example, if we're going to, let's go okay here, and let's go set 0 on these ones. So if you can see how they're going, and if we're going apply to the parent, you can see they become straight as they're going up. And we can even apply differently. So it's going from low up. See how they're bending differently. So this one, by the way, if you look on this graph, is going for the parent. In this case, our advance. Okay, let me select. Is going by this. Okay, and our other ones, the yellow, it will be from these selections according to that. So it's kind of nice way to we can control. Okay, so this is our axis, and if we look more on the splines, you'll notice we also have a profile. And profile, it's what I showed before. It's right here, this section. That section is what we can modify as a profile as well. Very similar things, because if we're going here, spline, and let's go say profile spline, you'll notice we have it same things we can modify. And about this kind of cool because you can create like totally, kind of weird fruit shapes, like a pear or some other ones. Very nice, very easy way to create like special shape or specific object. Okay. Well, you know, this one is very cool if you experiment by yourself. Just try around, play with them. Don't worry. Worst things what you can do, just create new project and all of this gone, so you don't get mess up too much. Well, let's go now erase all of this. Okay. Well, next we'll retouch primes. So let's go see what we have here. In miscellaneous, you notice we have a primal, which is a return do a link of all our segment positioning. Okay, we have a section angle, radial size, the current age, which is kind of nice because we can lock this and receive the current age. Of course, we can go directly from here connecting, but this way is kind of more local. And beside that, we have it actually age max and age beginning, current age. So this will help us to map it properly. So we can actually says, hey, map it to this value. And if somebody go change in a plant somewhere else, it will map it properly without us going and readjust our map on maximum and minimum. So this is kind of very nice about this. Okay, we also here in miscellaneous level of details, which is also very useful because remember how we said before. And you can access to maximum, minimum, to all these values and calculating as we need to go. Beside that, we also have it our current primitive axis. We have it also ancestry and parent parameters. So if we work with parents, random range, if we're creating, and this is kind of nice because we can set values of the random range and produce. And this is also can affect, you can see currently random range and other things. And nice things about this random range, it will apply depend on what you're connecting. So it's kind of a very cool one. Okay. And next we have also connected, multi-curve, random input. This one is whatever you input and it's random output. So it's nice if you have it like filters, colors, some other ones you're connecting and you want random output. So it's just a randomizer between nodes, which is get very useful, very nice if you want to create a special variation. Well, I think this is all kind of we cover. Of course, most of these nodes is nice if you put your hands on and play around, and this is the best way to do. The one tip, well, actually maybe a few tips before we end up, I want to give it to you. And it is mostly organizational tip. One, you'll notice right here we have it all of these nodes. And it's hard sometimes properly organize or adjust them. So what we can do, we can go and create a special frame. So let me go right here. I draw a frame and I create it. Notice what this frame does. It's like allowed me group those nodes together. And it's get helpful if you, for example, have a group of the leaves, group of the branches or other things. Of course, like any other things, you can modify name. You can also, of course, modify colors and adjust. It doesn't do anything to functionality. This is only to preview for you. So it's a nice organization. Well, another things also, and by the way, if you want it, you can easily take and move out or move it in. It's very easy, nice to organize. So you can move this one. Well, the other things also you can do is actually group them together to create a nodes, meta nodes. And meta nodes, like if you have a very complex set, like for example, I have a very complex here settings, and you want to reuse maybe in another plant or even compare here. So you can actually go select them together, okay? And you can go and group them. So let's go ahead. Well, right there, where's my edit? Right there, group. Notice what is happening. It's created what's called meta node. Well, the meta node, you can also save it you can load it in the future. You can publish parameters, so you can see when input and output, so the people can modify this. You can lock and create it just like you want it. For example, you can create a meta node which is accept age, and it's come from the flower to the specific fruit like apple, and you can call its apple age or something, and you don't need to recreate all the time. All what you need to connect or same things, and we'll accept one of those splines, like for example the profile spline or other things. So you can also just go and create different fruits. It will accept it, and what's happening if you connect this after, it will always replace from flower to that fruit. So you have a lot of flexibility to do with this. Well, the question has come up, what if you need to modify this? So, and you can also go ahead and click at the button edit. So we go click, and here you're inside, and when you're done with editing, you can just click on top X, cancel, or everything. And of course you can go ahead and ungroup this if you don't want it. You can go back to normal view, and this will be like edit, same edit, ungroup, and now you're back to normal. So it's very easy to do, but it's very nice with organizations. Well, hopefully you find this video is useful and give you some interesting abilities on those specific nodes. Let me know if you have your feedback or how to use it, some of those nodes. It's very interesting for me to find out. And of course, in the future videos, we will explore more and more. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next.